In this video, I'll be sharing with you a tutorial on how to sew this stylish princess dart basque top. So if this is something you like, kindly hit on the subscribe button. Now to start, in our previous video, we went ahead to cut out all this pattern. So now for the center piece, I'm cutting it on fold. And I added 1/2 inch at the upper part of this pattern by the side and at the lower part. So for the centerpiece, I cut it out on fold, and I also cut out a lining which I'll be ironing a gum stay to. Now this part, I added 1/2 inch round it. The only part I didn't add 1/2 inch to is towards the side. I have already added the sewing allowance when drafting that. Now this is the back pattern. I added 1/2 inch at the top, at the lower part, and the lacing bar area, but towards the side also I didn't add 1/2 inch because I added the sewing allowance to the pattern. Now I'm going to go ahead to iron a gum stay or paper stay on the lining part. Now what I'll do is to use this to cut out my wording, cut out underneath, and from this part also I'll cut out this part and then go ahead to take it all the way up. After cutting this, I'll transfer this on my wording and I'll cut it out. Now after that, I'll go ahead to place my wording on it, place my pattern on the wording rather, and I will be tracing it out. I'll cut the under bust area directly, add 1/2 inch when I'm cutting this part. So when I'm cutting here, I'll take it up a little. This is because I don't like my wording getting to the top, and I like the upper part not to be too bulky. So this is for the center piece, and now we are going to cut for the side piece of this pattern. So I'm going to cut the under bust area, and by the side I won't add 1/2 inch. Now at the upper part I'll bend it down and take out 1/2 inch there. Now going to the front, I'm going to add 1/2 inch. This is because this is the part going towards the joining of the dress. Now I'm just going to notch it so that I don't misplace the upper part with the lower part of my pattern. Now we'll be placing this on our fabric. I'll go ahead to take my wording and I'm going to place it on my fabric this way, and I'm also going to place this other part on this other wording on the sides, and then place the other side also. So while placing, you want to make sure that the under bust area is meeting the under bust of the main fabric. Now I'll go ahead to iron this down, iron it out, and I'll be stitching this with 1/2 inch. I'll join it with 1/2 inch from the lower part to the upper part this way. So after I'm done stitching it with 1/2 inch, I'm going to go ahead to iron it out. So I'm done stitching, and this is what I have. So I also forgot to mention that I joined the lining. So whatever you do on your main fabric, you're also going to do it to the lining. It's just that on the lining I ironed paper stay or gum stay on it. So I went ahead to like open up this joining I have here, and you're going to start ironing it out so that it's going to relax very well. So you also want to lower your heat while ironing this, especially if you're not using a steam iron just like I'm just doing now. So I'll just go ahead to open this up, iron it so that it's going to relax very well. So after ironing this, I'll now go ahead to turn it to the right side also, and I will iron. So I'm just going to open it this way, make sure it relaxes, and I'll start ironing it. So after ironing this side, I'll move over to ironing the other side. This is to help open up the seam on your dress. Then place my ironing ball this way, and I will now iron the under bust area. You see how I'm ironing the under bust area so that it's going to stand very well, so that after sewing your bustier it won't be flat. So this is the effect I have after I'm done ironing. So I'll also go ahead to iron out my lining. You also want to open the seam on the dress. Go ahead to open it up, and you want to iron this very well because of the paper stay. If not, if that part does not relax, it will be bulging out very well, because this is more like a paper interfacing that you used on your lining. So it's easier to iron when you're using an estee. So I'll just go ahead and I'll iron this very well. So after ironing, iron out the lower joining that I have on the dress, and will now go ahead to iron out the front part. Then after I'm done ironing, you will now proceed to joining the other parts of the dress. So now I'm going to join my main fabric with the lining. So for the sleeve or strap, I'll attach it when I'm done sewing. So you can attach it now if you want to, but I want to attach it later so that if there's need for adjustment, I can easily do that. So make sure that your pattern relaxes, that is, the lining relaxes very well on the main fabric. Now you're going to join with 1/2 inch all the way from the sides towards the lower side of your pattern, going down to the basque area, and after that you go ahead to also stitch the side. So please, before going ahead to stitch, make sure that you're going to pin this down. This will help you not to like join the wrong part. So after here, I'll leave here open, skip there, and then stitch up the neckline also. So I'll be turning my pattern from that side that I left open, and I'll stitch up this side. So I'm just going to go ahead to stitch this. Now moving over to the back pattern, which I cut out. So I went ahead to notch the upper part so that I don't misplace it, because the back is looking the same from both sides. So for the lining, I iron the pepper stay or a gum stay to it. Now I'll just go ahead and stitch with 1/2 inch all the way around, leaving the lower part open. Now after I'm done stitching, what I'll do is just to go ahead and give my dress a good notch. You want to like notch it very well so that it's going to relax, because after this you have to turn it to the side, and the part that you don't notch very well might not relax very well by the side of the dress. So I'm just going to go ahead to keep notching this, and after that I will now turn it from that opening that we left from the side of the dress. So this is me turning it. So after I'm done turning this side, this is what I have, right? So I left this side open. What I'll do is to tuck in this side with 1/2 inch, and I'll stitch it with 1/2 inch of my sewing machine. Now going over to this part, I'll just go ahead to cut out the excess on the lining, and I'll go ahead to notch it all the way around. So after notching it, I'll also turn it from the lower part. So for this, I'm using an eyelet for the back of my dress. So I didn't get to see the back, but I just feel like there's an eyelet, there's a lacing at that part. So I'll just go ahead to turn it, and I'll run like 2 stitches on it. One will be for the eyelet and one will be for the lacing bar. So now after stitching, this is what I have for the back. I went ahead to wrap up the mouth of my boning so that it won't poke me. So I'll just go ahead and pass the boning through it this way, and I'm going to go ahead to cut out the excess. So after I'm done doing that, what I'm going to do is to go ahead to like wrap the lower parts, right? I cut out a strip of fabric. What I'll do is to go ahead to place it, fold it to the back, and I'll stitch with 1/2 inch. Now I'll cut out the excess. What I have here is about 1.5 inches. Then I'll now flip it to the back this way, fold it in, and top stitch. So after doing that, this is the front. I went ahead to iron it, and this is the back. Now remember, for the sewing allowance I used 1.5 inches. So by the time you turn it up with 1/2 inch on both sides, you will have 1 inch remaining. So I placed and I stitched out the 1 inch on both sides. So after I'm done stitching it, this is what I have. And the next step I'm going to take is to go ahead to make like a strap, which I'll use and attach the upper part. So what I have here is about 20 inches by 4 inches. So I'll fold it and go ahead to top stitch. Now how to get this measurement is to go ahead to measure from your chest line where your dress stopped to the other side. Place the tape round your neck to take that measurement. So after sewing, I'll just go ahead to attach this, and after I was done attaching, this is the final look of this dress. If you find this tutorial very helpful and interesting, please kindly hit on the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks. Now go ahead to insert my eyelet.